What is happening, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking at Diablo 4. Now, when this game first came out, I did pre-order this game because I heard a lot of good things about the accessibility from the beta tests, and I couldn't actually get into the beta. It was just always, every time I tried, it was just wouldn't let me in. It says queuing or whatever. And then when the game actually came out, I believe it was on the 2nd of June, I was away for 2 weeks, so I couldn't get to my PlayStation. Then I came back, and Final Fantasy 16 came out, and I dived headfirst into that. I literally only got round to playing this game, to looking at this game, about a week after Final Fantasy came out, and when I first launched the game, the screen reader didn't work, so I was quite disappointed. I was like, what the hell? I thought it was like a regional thing where it only worked in America, and I was like really disheartened at that. But I sent out a tweet about it saying, like, you know, what the hell's going on? Someone tweeted back, reassured me, basically saying they'll fix it on update, and they did. So I jumped into this game, jumped into the settings, and you know what? It's actually quite accessible for low vision. So yeah, we're gonna go in, gonna have a look, and yeah, maybe get into some demon killing trouble. Right, so here we are in Kayovashad, or whatever the first main town is called. Let me turn this volume down a little bit so I can hear actually what I'm saying. So we'll start off by talking about the screen reader. The screen reader is really impressive, I found. It not only works with things like, let's look at the menu, I guess.
Reckoning. Magic boots, 86 item power, 43 armor, plus 17.
So when you open up the menu, it reads out all of your armor and stuff, and at the bottom you can move across to different items, and when you obviously hover over cash,
the people of Sanctuary use herbs as medicine.
Tells you exactly what it is. Also, you can like see what you have equipped by going around, and it reads, yeah, it reads pretty much everything. One thing I found that it doesn't read is when you press R2 to go from equipment to consumables to quest items to aspects. It doesn't read what you're on. It's just reading the same thing over and over again. Intrepid Reckoning. What is Intrepid Reckoning?
43 armor,
okay.
plus 17.
Then magic boots.
0% dodge, chair. Bottom action button. Sit down.
I'm probably going to have to skip it a lot, because while the voiceover's talking, I can't really think. I don't know what's wrong with me. So yeah, it reads every aspect of the menus, the skills. It reads all the skills. So yeah, it's great. But also, when you're out in the world, the way a voiceover works is if you're looking towards something, so it will read what it is, chair. So if the tooltip pops up, or as long as it's on your screen, it will pop up and tell you what it is. So if I walk around, I think these are all online players actually. So if it says directional pad up, they're online players and you can interact with them. So yeah, it reads pretty much every aspect, but yeah, there you go, look. That's a person. It says interact and I can talk to them.
My neighbor is bewitched. I saw him skulking outside my door, muttering curses.
Right. This wouldn't have anything to do with the money, well then, would it?
So it works like kind of like helps you with the navigation. So if you're looking towards something, it will read it out, and it does that in combat as well. So if there's anything if there's something in front of you that appears, it will go like skeleton level this, and then you'll know that way. If you keep walking, you'll arrive at a skeleton, or you know, whatever. I'll show you combat a bit later because right now I'm in the city, and we'll start with stuff like the menus and things. Right, now the next thing I want to look at is the map. Now, first of all, the mini-map for me is in a pretty bad position. Top right corner is not a good place to have the mini-map for someone like me. This is because I have to sit really, really close to my screen to actually see it. I've got a 42-inch screen, and this means that to be able to look at the top right corner of my screen, I almost have to like stretch up and towards the right so I can kind of put my face up against it. If there was a way for me to move the mini-map so it could be on the bottom right, I see that there's literally nothing that it could interfere with being on the bottom right. That would be amazing. It would make it so much easier to use. Yeah. Also, the color of the minimap is, I mean, it's alright. There's like black outlines on everything. So like the player arrow, there's like a black outline around it, which makes it stand out. Stuff like points of interest, like world tier statues or quests, they're all outlined with a black outline, so you can see a lot clearly against the, because the background of the map is called sort of like the color of parchment. It's like a faded, yeah, like parchment color, which isn't really good for contrast in my opinion. But the fact that they have black outlines makes it a whole lot easier to see. Now let's look at the bigger map as well, because this is where it gets again, there's good bits and bad bits. So here we are on the big map, and first of all, the diamond in the middle, I like the fact that it doesn't, the cursor doesn't move, but it stays centered and the whole like screen moves. That's amazing for accessibility, because you're always able to focus on the cursor, basically, no matter what you're looking at. Now, as for the screen reader, it also reads like parts of the map. So if you hover over a certain point of interest, for example, it tells you there's a world tier statue there. Wardrobe. So anything you see that's a point of interest, you don't have to like squint and say, oh, you know, what's that? Blah blah blah, because it reads it out straight away. So it's really easy and really yeah, it's no like, there's no lag, there's no there's no interference. So if I want to find a blacksmith, for example,
blacksmiths can craft blacksmiths can craft armor and weapons, repair it,
tells you what it is, exactly what it does. And yeah, it's really good, even though the color of the map again is not ideal for someone like me who struggles with poor contrast. What I'd like to see here is for the paths to stay the same color, I guess, but for the bits that you can't walk in, like the buildings, these sorts of areas, to be darker, to be almost black, but or like a very dark color, so that the paths will stand out, so that I can clearly see, okay, so to get to the blacksmith I have to go down this path here, then take a left at the bottom, and then I'll be in, or whatever. But other than that, the map is actually quite good, especially because it reads the zone you're in, it reads all of the little different areas. And yeah.
Intrepid Reckoning.
Also, quickly go through, there's
Codex of Power, Total Challenges, Progress, Join a Clan,
all the other menus, including the microtransaction menu.
Recommended for you. Barbarian, Druid, Barbarian, Totem of Versus.
It's all read out to you, which is great. Now moving on to navigation. So this game is top down, so really there's only like you're moving on a, even though it looks 3D at certain bits, you're moving on a two-dimensional plane really, so you can go up, down, left, right, and or you know, either on that axis basically. So having a sort of navigation system here would be really easy to implement, but unfortunately it doesn't. There's no like audio navigation, there's no navigational assistance in this game. There is the mini-map, so if a quest is highlighted, there'll be like a Let me see if I can track a quest quickly.
Campaign quest LV.
There we go. So
6.
campaign quest,
Campaign
track.
quest LV 6. Ill tidings.
Now
Travel
that
to the
appears on the
Cathedral of
map,
Light.
and that's actually
Button
really,
action button.
really clear.
Untrack.
Let me use the zoom in feature on PlayStation, because this is what I use a lot as well, by the way, to access the minimap, so that I'm not always stretching out where to go and stuff. So I've zoomed in to the top right, and now I can see the map a lot. It's a lot bigger on the screen. You can see on the top that the quest that is tracked is really clear. Like it's got like a squiggly outline, and then a black outline, and then the quest, and it's I can tell that it's right in front of me. But what I would say is that it would be so easy to have like a little button you can press, which will make a noise either top, bottom, left, right, or a combination on that two-dimensional axis, just to keep it in your mind. Okay, I need to keep heading this way to get to the quest. I think that would be so easy to implement, and it would be a great help for visually impaired people, because when you're getting close as well, so like I know in the quest I have to go to the Cathedral of Light, so again, when you're going close, the screen reader works that if you're pointing towards it and it's on your screen,
Cathedral of Light,
it will just read it out to you. Cathedral of Light, level 6. And you can be like, okay, I need to keep heading that way to get to the Cathedral of Light, and then you turn around. Kaio Vashad is behind me. So, now that I've spoken about the screen reader and all that stuff, we'll delve in a little bit into the actual accessibility features, and we'll go through, because there's a lot of customizability in here when it comes to like colors and highlights, and I think it's quite important to talk about.
Use screen reader. Enabled. Use screen reader. Enables or disables audio that describes text and interactive elements of the current screen.
Right, so here we are on the accessibility screen. Got a screen reader, great. You can increase the speed of the screen reader, which I probably might do actually, just to make it a lot, because sometimes I realise that the screen reader's talking, and it's still talking while the story plot's going on and while the characters are talking to each other, which means that I can't hear what the characters are saying because the screen reader's too busy talking, basically. So if I increase the speed of that...
Screen reader speed 0. Adjusts the speed. Use screen readers 3. Adjust. Use screen reader. Screen reader speed.
Let me make it.
Use screen reader. Screen reader speed 89. Screen reader speed. Adjust the speed of screen reader dictation. Use screen reader. Screen reader speed. Use screen reader. Screen reader speed 77. Screen reader speed. Adjust the speed of screen reader dictation.
Okay, so I've adjusted it, which is hopefully it'll be a lot faster, and it will finish talking a lot quicker, so I can hear what's actually going on in the cutscenes and in the what's it called, in the dialogue. It's also got text to speech for like chat, for like in-game actions and stuff that happens, which is also really good. Voice option, you can change.
Local. Speech volume 99. Speech volume. Adjust the speech volume of text to speech voice. Local.
You can change the volume, all that stuff. So that's
Party. Local. Enabled. Party. Trade. Enabled.
yeah, you can enable it for all of this different things.
Separating chat line. Add an LT. Character name. Add an LT. Add an LT. Play sound separating. Add an LT in channel. Add an LT. Character name says in GT in speech. Enabled. Add an LT. Character name says in GT in speech. Enables or disables the character name during text to speech.
Sometimes it says stuff like, I don't know what it means by add an LT, but when I read it, it says add, and then it's got a greater than sign, character name. Character name says in speech. So I don't know why it's calling a greater than sign and
play sound separate. Add an LT. Character name says
LT, whatever that is.
Add an LT in channel and GT in speech. Enabled. Add an LT in channel and GT in speech. Enables or disables. Add an LT item link item name and GT in speech. Enabled. Add an LT item link item name and GT. Font scale large. Font scale. Adjust all font sizing within the game.
You can make the font big or small. I don't think you can adjust it that much, to be honest. There's big, medium, large, medium, small.
Applies a filter to compensate visuals for color
It's got the
blindness.
usual
Example,
colorblind
Text Messaging
filters, the
Red Light and Green Light.
Deuteranopia,
Coloring up block.
Tritanopia,
Chat
all that
background
stuff,
location. 104. Transcribe voice chat.
which
Disabled.
is
Chat back.
good. But I don't really use
On.
any of that
Color
stuff
blind
because
filter.
I'm not.
Applies a filter to compensate visuals for color blindness.
To be honest, I don't use color at all. For me, it's more about contrast. So it's more about the lighter things look compared to a dark background, the better I can see them. And with this, I tried all of them, and they don't. None of them really are of any help to me.
Chat back. Transcribe voice chat. Disabled. Transcribe voice chat. Enable speech-to-text transcription of active voice channels. View our online privacy policy on https.
Oh, so it's got speech-to-text.
System message. Errors. Error. Combat warning. Party chat. Combat warning. Combat warning. Combat warning messages will appear in this color in text chat. Party chat. Party chat. Local chat. Local chat.
And you can like change the color of different chats and
whispers. Clan.
stuff like that. Whispers.
Cinematic subtitles. On. Cinematic subtitles. Text locale. English. Text speech locale. Font scaling. 0.
Subtitles. Not really
for subtitles.
useful, but you can make the font bigger for subtitles or smaller, which is I guess good for some people who use them.
Font color. Default. Font color. Adjust
Oh,
font
you can
color of
change
subtitles.
the font color of subtitles. That's good. You can make. Oh, that's really good as well. You can make the background fully opaque or transparent for subtitles. Also good for some people.
Auto progress game dialog. Enabled. Auto progress game dialog. Enabled.
Auto progress game dialog. I like that.
Show combat hit flash. Enabled.
So here you can disable when the screen shakes when things happen, or when you hit someone the screen flashes. You can disable that if you have any troubles with things like that.
Reduce strobing. This will disable several effective lights in the game, reducing the amount of strobing in the game.
You can reduce like strobing lights, which is like sort of like lights that move quite fast around the screen and like almost like a spotlights and stuff. You can get rid of that if that interferes with seeing certain things.
Controller vibration. Enabled. Swap left and right sticks. Persist target lock. Skill top. Persist target lock. Disabled. Persist target lock. If enabled, target lock will remain active between encounters.
Persist target lock.
Swap. Persist target lock. Disabled. Persist target lock. If enabled, target lock will remain active between encounters.
I'm turning that on apparently just to see what it is. It's some sort of target lock. Not really sure what that's going to do, but okay.
Skill toggle behavior. Hold all. Skill toggle. Display player highlight. Disabled. Display player highlight. Player highlight color. Player highlight. Display player highlight.
This is what I wanted to talk about.
Display player highlight. Draws a highlight around the player.
So you can activate highlights for the player, the enemy, interactable items, quest items, things like that, and you can make them any color you want. So whatever color you want to stand out. So if I do display player highlight, player highlight color, you can choose any one of these colors here that like yeah, you can choose any of these colors that really show that will draw like a line around the player in that color. For me, I don't really use different colors and stuff to discern. I just want them to be as bright as possible against the dark background, so I'll choose like up here, for example. Now let's go back and see how that's changed it. Oh, hang on.
Leave options.
I have
options. Font scale.
I accidentally didn't what's it called? I didn't save the changes, so let's go back and
player color picker.
right. So let's pick the highlight color again.
Analog stick. Right and player highlight warning. Options.
Okay, I've saved it now. Now you can see that the player has like a white highlight around it, so you can always see
world tier statue.
If you have trouble
interact.
Seeing where the player is. For me, I don't use the player highlight. This is because the player, your character that you're playing always stays in the center of the screen, so he's kind of hard to miss, I guess, for me. But for those people who want it, it's there and it's really good.
Draws a highlight around the player.
So I've turned off player highlight because I don't use that, but what I do use is other stuff like
NPC highlight color.
NPC highlight color.
Color picker 0060FF. Left analog stick. Right analog stick up or down. Bottom action button accept. Right action.
Again, I like making them just as bright as possible.
Controls the color of NPC highlights.
So I can see them stand out against the background. It doesn't really matter that they all look the same color because in the context of the game you'll know whether it's an NPC or an enemy, because if it's an NPC they'll be in a city or they'll be as part of a quest that you're supposed to get to, or it will tell you interact, whether if it's an enemy they'll be trying to attack you, so it's kind of obvious.
Enemy highlight color. Enemy highlight color. Controls the color of enemy highlights.
So yeah, enemy highlight
Object highlight
color,
color.
object highlight color, they're all the same for me, but they're all as bright as possible,
Object highlight color. Controls the
which
color of interactable object highlights.
is really important in a game like this, to be honest, because it really helps simplify things and kind of make sure that they stand out. So if I'm looking for a particular item or a particular NPC, I'm gonna be like, okay, this guy's here because I can see like an outline around someone. If the quest says, I don't know, find Dave, I can see that, oh, there's a guy over here with a outline, and I point my character towards him, and then the screen reader will go, Dave, press bottom action button to interact.
In-game loot sounds. Enabled. In-game loot sounds. Enable sound effects tied to items dropping in the world.
So, in-game item drop sounds are also really important for me, and I'll tell you, this came in really handy when I had a mission where I had to buy a sword from a vendor and carry it back to some guy, and I kept leaving the area where I was supposed to go by accident, and the weapons kept dropping because you're not supposed to carry them outside of that particular area. And as I kept walking, I heard this like ding sound, and I was like, what was that sound? And then I saw the highlighted weapon on the floor. So I was like, oh, why has that dropped? And I realized, okay, I must not be able to go this way, it must be the other way. If that sound hadn't played, I probably would have missed that item falling, and I would have just kept going. And yeah, I may have lost that item completely and not been able to progress the quest or something. So yeah, this is really important for low vision players. Any sort of audio cue or any sort of any sort of audio cue, any sort of information that can be transmitted audibly is vital in video games for low vision players.
Weapon. Enabled. Weapon. Apply this effect to all weapon items. One-handed. Two-handed. Offense. Armor. Enabled. Armor. Apply this effect to all armor items. Helm. Chest. Gloves. Pants. Boots. Shields. Jewelry. Enabled. Jewelry. Apply. Socketable. Enabled. Socketable. Other. Enabled. Other. Apply this effect to all other item types not listed above.
So these are all, I've ticked all of them basically, where if I drop any of these, it will make a sound. And it will let me know.
Minimum quality. Common. Minimum quality. Apply this effect to items at this quality level or higher.
So minimum quality common, that's the lowest item, so I have it at the minimum one, so it basically does it for all items.
Play audio on ambient loop. Disabled. Play audio on ambient loop. Enable sound effects when an item in the world is nearby.
Enable sound effects when an item in the world is nearby. Let's select that as well, actually, because
Weapon. Disabled.
like I said, any
Enabled. Play audio on ambient loop. Enable sound effects when an item in the world
any
is nearby.
sound effect, the more sound effects to help give information to a low vision player, the better.
Disabled. Armor. Disabled.
So
Jewelry.
I'm just going to tick
Other.
all of
Disabled.
these.
Minimum quality. Common. Play audio on targeting objects. Disabled. Play audio on targeting objects.
Play
Enable
audio
sound
on
effects when an enemy object in
targeting
the world is
objects.
targeted by the player.
I've actually missed all of this when I was going through the accessibility options. I didn't realise.
Play audio on targeting objects. Disabled.
Yeah,
Play
I'll
audio
want
on
to
targeting
play audio on
objects.
targeting
Play audio on
objects as
targeting
well.
objects. Other.
That's
Armor. Weapon.
that's
Other.
it for the.
Other. Other. Play audio on targeting
That is
objects.
it for
Play audio on
the.
targeting objects. Enable sound
What's
effects
it
when an
called?
object in the world is targeted. Warning.
For the
Enable
accessibility
sound
settings.
options.
Let's save the changes. So yeah, it's got loads of customizability for colors and highlights, and also loads of audio cues for like dropping items, targeting when items are in the area. Now I'm going to progress the mission a little bit, and I'm going to get into some sort of combat where I can show off again enemy highlights and how the screen reader works when enemies are nearby. Right, so another thing I've just noticed, I thought I'd go to a dungeon to show you guys some combat, but another thing I've noticed is I mark the dungeon on my map with square, and a line has appeared from my character, which I'm assuming leads all the way to the dungeon. Yeah, I think it does. So that's also really good. If only the minimap was, I was able to move it lower, I'd be able to, use it a lot better. But anyway, let's head down towards this dungeon, and we shall see if we encounter some enemies along the way. Oh, yep, we got a marauder. So as I point towards it, marauder, so I can. More often than not, the enemies will come towards you. If they're a ranged enemy, they'll obviously shoot you from afar, but again, if you're pointing towards them, the screen reader will tell you
Eastern Pass. LB
they're in that
6.
direction. So keep going down. Oh, I can hear noises.
Carver. Carver lunatic.
Oh, there's a lunatic here.
Carver lunatic.
Don't have enough fury.
So I've killed all of them. I'm going to keep heading down towards this dungeon. Let's heal myself.
Crosswing.
Oh,
Crosswing. 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 Bottom action button. Interact. Hollow tree. Bottom action button. Interact. Hollow tree. Carver.
oh, there's more enemies here. Oh god.
Carver.
I'm probably going to die here. There's so many.
Idol of the shaman. Idol of the shaman. Idol of the shaman. Idol of the Carver. Carver shaman. Carver.
Oh, I'm being attacked. Oh, this is getting a bit hectic.
That still is not ready. That still is not ready. You are out of healing potions. That still is not ready.
I'm out of healing potions. I think I'm going to die here.
Carver shaman. Carver shaman. Idol of the shaman. Carver shaman. Idol of the shaman. Carver shaman. You are out of healing potions. Idol of the shaman.
Alright,
You are out of healing potions.
I'm out of healing potions, so damn it. I wonder how... This is another thing. I don't know how to check my health on this game.
You are out of healing potions.
Have any potions?
No, I don't want to teleport. I don't want to teleport. No. I accidentally nearly teleported back to the city. That's you can do that if you hold down.
Hide gloves. Hide gloves.
Oh, let's pick up some hide gloves.
Hollow tree. Bottom action button. Interact.
Right. So I think I've given you a good idea of what combat actually looks like in this game. I'm just going to go until either I die or until I reach this dungeon. Oh, heal myself. I must have picked up another health potion. Oh, there's a little icon over here. What's this icon?
Forsaken mine. Bottom action button. Interact.
Forsaken
Forsaken
Mine.
Bottom action button. Interact. Forsaken or vein. Forsaken mine. Bottom action button. Or vein. Bottom action button. Interact.
Let's go into the Forsaken Mine. See what's in here.
Attacks
It's
can
not the
overpower
dungeon
attacks
I've
to
marked,
This chance
but-
can be passively improved, but some effects can cause attacks to be guaranteed to overpower.
But it
Forsaken
is
mine.
a
Bottom action button.
dungeon,
Interact.
I think.
Forsaken mine. Purge the cellar.
Purge the cellar. Okay, let's purge the cellar. What is there? What is there? It's not reading anything out yet. So there's no enemies. That's a good thing as well. You know there's no enemies. Also, as well, if there's a door, a closed door, and you face against it, and it will read out if there's anything. So,
Skeleton. Bloodthirsty skeleton captain. Elite.
oh, I know there's skeletons over that side. Oh, here they come.
Skeleton. Bloodthirsty skeleton captain. Elite. Skeleton. Skeleton portrait. Skeleton. Bloodthirsty skeleton captain. Skeleton. Bloodthirsty skeleton captain. Skeleton. Bloodthirsty skeleton captain. Skeleton captain. Skeleton portrait. Bloodthirsty skeleton. Bloodthirsty skeleton. Bloodthirsty skeleton captain. Skeleton.
Oh, I think I just made it to level 7. I think I may have purged the mine. Oh, I got a chest. Loads of items. It didn't read those items out, but I'm assuming they were like potions and coins and stuff. I think that was it. Yeah. So you get like dungeons that are big dungeons with a boss fight at the end, and then you get like little small dungeons where you just go in, you kill a group of enemies, get a chest, and that's it. Alright guys, I think that is enough to show you guys just a basic look at the accessibility. I did end up going into the dungeon and getting quite far, and then I basically kept dying towards like right at the end of the boss, and I was just like, you know what, I think I've shown enough to show the accessibility and how it works. So yeah guys, that's it. If you want to see more of this game on this channel, leave a comment below, let me know. I might do a co-op playthrough with one of my friends who's been on this channel before. I think that might be quite fun to run through some dungeons and stuff together. But for now, that is it. Let me know if you guys want to see more, and I'll catch you again on the next one.